Let me tell you a story that still makes me shake my head and honestly laugh every time winter comes around. I never in my life thought a 4-foot pile of snow would end up dragging me into court, but here we are. And if you'd told me 2 years ago that my driveway would become ground zero for a full-on legal brawl with the HOA, I'd have thought you were the one off your rocker. See, it started on one of those bone-cold January mornings in Burlington, Vermont. You know, the kind where the world's quiet, the trees are iced up like something out of a snow globe, and every breath you take hits your lungs sharp and sweet. I'm Aaron Peterson, and I moved into Pine Ridge for the peace and quiet, hoping to just write code, keep to myself, and enjoy a bit of the good life. What I didn't count on was Patricia Henderson, the president of our HOA, and as it turned out, the self-appointed enforcer of every rule in the book. Patricia, well, she's the kind of lady who'd turn a dandelion in your lawn into a federal offense. Always that exact same blonde Karen haircut, short in the back, angled in the front, always driving her white Lexus with the "I speak to managers" bumper sticker. And she had a binder, I kid you not, packed with years of grainy phone photos, brown lawns, forgotten trash bins, a stray kid's bike. No detail too small for Patricia's crusade. That morning I was up before sunrise as usual. There's something about shoveling snow in the dark that just calms my mind. Maybe it's the rhythm, the sound of the blower churning. Maybe it's the way the snow catches the porch light in a million tiny sparks. My property's a corner lot, so I always end up with extra work, but I don't mind. Gives me a sense of order. You know, I'd even had a surveyor out the previous spring after Patricia tried to claim my fence was on the HOA's common area. Turns out I was 3 feet inside my own line. Kept that report close ever since. So I finished clearing my driveway. Sun's just coming up. Fingers are numb, but I'm feeling good. And here comes Patricia creeping along in her Lexus like she's patrolling the DMZ. She rolls down her window, gives me that look, you know, the one like she's about to tell you your dog's running loose when you don't even have a dog. That snowbank is unsightly, Aaron, she calls all high and mighty. You need to spread it out, it's an eyesore. I just nodded, polite but firm. Morning, Patricia. The snow's on my property. The rules don't say anything about snowbank arrangement. She didn't like that answer. Not one bit. Said she'd be reviewing the bylaws. I told her to have a good day and went inside to warm up. Looking back, I should have known that wasn't the end of it. You could practically see the wheels turning in her head as she sat at the stop sign plotting God knows what. But I shrugged it off, brewed a coffee, and logged in for a full day of remote work, barely gave it a second thought. Evening falls. Skies all pink and blue, the street quiet as a postcard. I'm half watching some documentary Brain, halfway to sleep when bam, something hits so hard the windows rattle. I leap up, peer outside, and what do I see? Patricia's Lexus nose down in my snowbank rear end sticking up like a seesaw. Snow sprayed everywhere, airbag hanging, limp steam pouring out the hood. I grab my foam coat boots, dash outside, my heart's in my throat. I mean, she might be hurt, and for all our beef, I'm not a monster. But Patricia, she's red-faced, a cut on her head, and mad as a hornet. You created a hazard, she shouts, jabbing her finger at the snowbank. This is your fault. Neighbors are coming out now, Dave from across the street. Mrs. Chen shuffling in her robe. Patricia's waving her arms, blaming me. Says her car's totaled, says my snowbank's a menace. Now let's be clear, the snowbank was well off the road. No ice, nothing blocking the street. It was like she aimed for it. I offer to call an ambulance. She snaps she just wants me to take responsibility. That's when I realized this isn't some accident. Patricia did this on purpose. She wanted to create a case against me. Let's call the police, I say, keeping my voice even. The officer arrives, measures everything, takes photos. He's seen winter accidents, you can tell. Listens to Patricia's story about glare and distraction, then turns to me. Is the snow entirely on your property, he asks. Yes, sir. Got a survey if you need it. He nods, then writes Patricia a citation for failing to control her vehicle. I almost felt bad. Almost. Patricia's shaking with fury as she takes the ticket. This isn't over, she hisses right in front of the cop. And she meant it. Within days, a lawyer's letter arrives. Patricia wants $50,000 for damages, pain, and suffering, the whole 9 yards. That's when I remember my cameras. Pulled up the footage. There she is, clear as day, stopping in the street, reversing, turning the wheel, and ramming straight into the snowbank. Deliberate as a bull in a china shop. My brother Marcus, he's a paralegal, tells me to back up the footage in 10 places. My insurance company reviews it and basically says, yeah, we're not paying. This looks like fraud. Patricia still sues. Her lawyer gets creative claims. My snowbank is an attractive nuisance, like I'd left an open pit in the yard. We go through months of legal hell. Her new friend Deborah becomes HOA president, immediately starts sending me notices. My grass, my trash bin, even my job gets cited. It's all coordinated. The stress is eating me alive. But discovery turns the tide. My lawyer finds out Patricia called her insurance company 45 minutes before the crash. Googled attractive nuisance and suing neighbor for property damage that same afternoon. Her medical treatment, 2 Tylenol and a bandage. It's laughable, except it's not funny at all. At her deposition, Patricia tries to stick to her story but can't explain the video, the timing, the calls. Her lawyer tries to shut down questions. My lawyer keeps pressing. Patricia clams up, pleads the fifth. Even her lawyer looks like he wants to crawl under the table. By the time we reach the courtroom, summertime, the world green and bright, and I'm wearing my only suit. I'm running on nerves. The judge watches the footage. Twice. Asks Patricia point blank, "Is that your vehicle?" Patricia's voice cracks. "Yes, but it shows exactly what it shows." The judge cuts her off. She dismisses the lawsuit sanctions Patricia for $10,000 and refers her to the state for fraud investigation. Patricia's world collapses overnight. She gets arrested, loses her presidency, the HOA holds an emergency election, and finally people start talking about real community issues instead of how high someone's grass is. The new president, Tom, is a good guy, apologizes for everything, actually reforms the board. Patricia pleads guilty, gets probation, has to pay $25,000 in restitution, and becomes a pariah. People whisper about her at the grocery store. Her house sits on the market for months. She slinks out of town before Christmas. Me, I put up a sign on my snowbank, "Please don't crash into it." Neighbors howl with laughter. It's a running joke. Every time I shovel snow, I remember how close I came to losing my home, my peace of mind over one woman's petty crusade for control. A year goes by. I get a surprise visit from Patricia's old lawyer, Martin, who hands me a check for $5,000 and apologizes for not catching the fraud sooner. Says he's changed how his firm takes cases. I donate half to legal aid. It just felt right. Life settles. The new HOA board actually listens to people, focuses on things that matter. I help a woman named Helen across town with her own HOA troubles, told her to document everything, never be intimidated, and always fight back when someone abuses their power. The story of Patricia becomes a local legend, even goes viral online. I turn down TV interviews. I got my justice in court. I don't need internet fame. A few years pass. The HOA's better. My property's my sanctuary again. The neighborhood feels lighter, less fearful. I tell the story sometimes at parties. Everyone laughs at the video. But what I really took away is this: bullies only win when no one stands up. Patricia tried to make an example of me, and in the end she became the lesson about documentation, about standing your ground, and about how karma always finds its way. So here's my question to you. Where do you draw the line between fighting back and letting things slide? When is enough enough? Have you ever faced someone like Patricia? Someone who abused their power just because they could? Tell me in the comments, what's the wildest thing you've seen from an HOA or from someone in charge? And if you're ever on the wrong side of someone's pettiness, remember, keep your cool, keep your records, and never ever let them see you sweat. Because sometimes all it takes is a pile of snow and a little bit of backbone to change everything.